Liverpool 2, Fulham nil at Anfield. A comfortable victory as far as the scoreline is concerned. What did you make of Liverpool's performance today, Janusz?
I think it was good. I think the first half, good result, obviously dominant, no drama whatsoever. It was always, I think, one of those games where Liverpool needed to stop the bleeding, right? If you consider the game against PSG, the thrashing against Manchester City, the loss to Brighton, right? That's three straight in all competitions. And obviously, so many questions about the manager, about the players, about, Champions League and all of that. So, big answer today. That doesn't change some of the problems that Liverpool has had this season, but certainly puts them in the spot of being in the Champions League and a little bit of momentum ahead of second leg against Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, a few changes to the Liverpool lineup. Rio Ngumoha coming in, the 17-year-old playing wide on the left-hand side. Obviously, one eye on midweek in the second leg against PSG, but he certainly took his chance very well today. Not just the goal, but the opportunity that he got. And at the age of 17, he reminded me of that Gallus, that kind of no concerns about consequences. He reminded me of a kind of left-sided Mohamed Salah at times.
I mean, we all know about his talent. I think we all know that at the age of 17, it's such a big club. It takes a little bit of time. You're going to have some ups and downs. And, first goal at Anfield, that's, of course, big. And at that moment when he scored, I mean, he was clearly the best player on the pitch, right? It wasn't just out of nowhere. I thought throughout the game, he showed the quality that he has. The game was going Liverpool's way, so that helped. But the way he engages players, first thing on his mind, it looks to be to engage the defender one-on-one. And the way he put that away was wonderful. Both goals were similar to the degree, and Mo Salah just with a little bit of a reminder. If you give him a little bit of room where he doesn't have to beat you anymore and show his pace or lack of it, he can still finish, certainly. So for Ngumoha, a tremendous. I think the upside is also great for him. But let's show a little bit of patience because we know at 17, that's kind of, with all those big games on the line, it's a big ask of a player like him. But tremendous game, deserved his goal today for sure.
We also know in life these days, Janusz, that patience doesn't exist. We want him now. We want him to be a Ballon d'Or winner within the next year. That's what football's all about. But you're right. You're 100% correct. This is a kid that's got so much ability. Just let him be a kid. Let him do what he does, like Lamine Yamal at Barcelona. But unfortunately, the society that we live in now, that's not going to be the case. He got the opening goal after 36 minutes. It was 2 and 4 minutes. Mohamed Salah in the 40th minute. That pretty much put the game to bed. And it's Ngumoha that kind of starts it into Cody Gakpo and wide to Salah. It's a goal we've seen 100 times before from Mo Salah.
Yeah, I looked at it. It was just a reminder of how good he is. Yet, there's time for him to go, which he said it himself. But we can all see it that this is a massive drop off, right? From last season with 27 to now 6 goals, and that extra pace. We don't see Mo Salah being able to beat players one-on-one anymore. It's one of those things with Mo Salah that that moment is always going to come. You just don't know when. But when it does, it's hard to. For the fans, it's difficult because, over the course of 9-10 season, I mean, his consistency has been, as good as any that I can think of, right? 20 plus goals, 30 plus goals. He's been absolutely tremendous, but the drop off is there. As I said, it comes, your mind kind of tells you, I'm trying to get in his head and remember when my time came, not at this level. You think you can, but your legs tell you otherwise, right? And even today, it looked that way. If you paid attention very, very closely on a couple occasions, he just couldn't. He tried to win his battles and try to recover the ball once he lost it, and it was still second best to that. But on that particular finish, let's just hold on a second here because that's an unbelievable finish. One touch, right? When Gakpo plays him that ball, it's not an easy finish, but instinctive, right? He knew that he didn't need a touch. And by the way, has he taken a touch? I think that chance was gone probably. Although with him, you never know. But I think he surprised everyone, including the goalkeeper, that he took that on the first touch. And that just, for me, at the very least, was a reminder, how much quality he's had and still has, by the way.
Yeah. A clean sheet for Liverpool, and having conceded 42 goals in 32 games in the Premier League this season, that was much needed. Were there any points that you thought, Fulham are Fulham are on top here and they're going to get a goal, or do you think Liverpool handled their threat well?
Yeah, I mean, right after halftime, right? I think that first 10 minutes or whatever it was, it was again, it's one of those where with Liverpool this season, you kind of expect a little bit of drama. Let's just think back to even the first game Liverpool played at Craven Cottage, right? I mean, it was very, very late in the game, but Liverpool has done that. Even in the games where they were clearly the better side, they almost found a way to lose points. So after being so dominant in the first half, I would have thought that number one objective would have been the first 10 minutes, not just to score the third for the game to be done and dusted, but continue the domination. That wasn't the case. And then, it all settled. And simply because Liverpool was good and Fulham, really, let's be honest here, had virtually nothing in this game.
Yeah, they didn't offer too much. Fulham mid-table, they'll be fine. Not going to go down, unlikely to get a European spot, but the story today was Liverpool and a 2-0 win. Andy Robertson getting the start at left back after announcing that this will be his final season with the club. Suggestions that he may be on his way to Spurs if they stay up. I don't think his input and his contribution to Liverpool during his time at the football club can be underestimated, can it?
No, it can't. I mean, when you think of Liverpool at their best, winning the title, winning the Champions League, I mean, you have to think about Andy Robertson, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, both fullbacks, right? Very often assisting each other. That one season we've talked about, right? They both had like 14 or 15 assists, where they were changing the point of attack to each other, playing high, beating players, delivering unbelievable crosses, or often, scoring themselves. So. Yeah, I mean, steady Eddie. Those are the sort of players that are hard to combine, that give you that consistency, that give you that leadership, that strength. But more importantly, the character and leadership in the team. So, yeah, I mean, Liverpool, is finding out even this season when the time comes, for players like that, they're going to be so difficult to replace. I mean, just look at Kerkez, right? It's first season. We remember what he was doing for Bournemouth the season before that. And I'm sure he wanted to continue that at Liverpool. I'm sure he felt to himself, well, I've got around me so many better players on paper. And yet, to deal and handle that sort of pressure it's difficult. But I mean, what can you say about Robo? An excellent player that's going to be remembered for a long time at this club, right? I mean, I'm going to stop short about calling legends and all that, but I am sure when people sit down at the pub 20 years ago, his name's going to be mentioned, and it's not the most obvious one, is it?
No, it's not. So a 4-point lead now for Liverpool over Chelsea. If they lose against Manchester City tomorrow on Sunday, 6 games to go, and Liverpool with a 4-point lead. That sounds decent. However, after PSG's second leg, they got to go to the new stadium at Everton. Then it's Palace at home, Man United away, Chelsea at home, Villa away, Brentford at home. That's not an easy run-in for Liverpool, is it?
Yeah, I don't think Liverpool and Arne Slot are going to be taking anything for granted, right? I mean, they don't deserve to take anything for granted. One game doesn't make a season, that's for sure. I just mentioned 3 losses on the trot, and some in a pretty embarrassing way. So this is a good bounce. It's something, it was a must-win situation in so many ways. It really was. I mean, to a degree, Liverpool and the rest of the contenders are lucky that Premier League gets 5 spots. I think if it was 4, then we're looking at that win still very much differently, right? Because there's more teams than Chelsea that may have a shout for that. So this is good. I hope they're not going to get ahead of their skis. That's for sure, because we've seen the most inconsistent Liverpool I can remember for years.
Paris Saint-Germain won the first leg 2-0, and they're firm favourites to get through to the next stage of the Champions League. But back in 2019, Barcelona won the first leg 3-0, went to Anfield and lost 4 goals. It was just a whirlwind of attack, of noise. It's going to have to be like that as far as atmosphere is concerned in midweek. But that Liverpool team and this Liverpool team are not really the same. And this is Paris Saint-Germain compared to that Barca side. Do you give them any chance of turning this tie around?
I do, for the reasons that you've mentioned. I mean, realistically speaking, it's going to have to be a perfect game defensively, right? And you've mentioned the troubles that Liverpool has had defensively in particular, because even if it's a great start, the Anfield crowd gets behind, right? It's going to have to be one of those, 2 or 3 goals. And then you're still not sure, because you have to think, looking back to the game in Paris, I mean, that should have been done and dusted, 5, 6, 7 maybe.
Yeah.
And even here, I mean, PSG are in such a comfortable position and such a good team that even when things go against them and the crowd delivers and the Liverpool players deliver, they're very, very much capable of scoring a goal. If they do, then you're talking for sure 3, 4 goals for Liverpool in order to even have a shout at this. So that's a tall order. But of course, at Anfield, a possible. Why do I think that? Because I still think that every team, especially teams like Liverpool, and let's be honest, I mean, the squad is there, the quality is there. We haven't seen it at their best for long periods of time, but every team like that is capable of having a one perfect game, right? There are other teams where you say to yourself, no matter what happens, it's impossible. I wouldn't say that here, although I very much doubt it, because just PSG, just too good. Again, defending champions, and right now, we look at Bayern Munich, we look at some other teams, and I still think they come short to PSG when they play at their best.
No Mohamed Salah next season for Liverpool. No Andy Robertson. Will Arne Slot be there?
Oof, it is definitely an inflection point for Liverpool after this season. On one hand, you say to yourself, well, after winning a champion, you kind of look at Liverpool to some degree like Manchester City. They haven't won as many, but you saw the Manchester City last season, and even for long periods of time this season, where that drop off of what I think is a little bit of motivation, right? Or the main goal being gone so early in the season, it's so difficult because if you're Liverpool, if you're Manchester City, there's only one goal, and that is winning the Premier League. So it's a rebuild. You've mentioned a leader like Salah, like Robertson, talk about Alisson in goal. Perhaps he's going to be leaving. There may be another player. I don't know, maybe trying to think, there's going to be some changes. And I doubt it. I just almost think that you have to start clean. Big clubs like that, if there is even minute doubt about the ability of a team to respond to a manager, and even that little bit of panic we saw against PSG, changing the system, partially I understood what Liverpool needed to do, and that was to drop the defensive line a little bit, right? Play more defensive, almost to grind it out. You have to go against your philosophy. But that was definitely going against the philosophy of Arne Slot and Liverpool Football Club. So 60-40, we see a new manager.
Probably fair. And there's one in particular whose name is doing the rounds, and it might be a certain Xabi Alonso. But we will see. By the way, Chelsea's games, they're the team that are closest to Liverpool right now after Manchester City in the league. They've got Manchester United at home. They've got to go to Brighton. They've got Forest at home, Liverpool, Chelsea. Penultimate game of the season could be massive. And then they end the season against Spurs. Speaking of Spurs, they go to Sunderland tomorrow. Janusz and I will be back at full time in that game right here to see if they can get themselves out of the relegation zone or if that trapdoor is getting ever closer. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.